So what's up guys, and welcome to another video here on Abbster and Skeppa's channel here. And today is ban list day, and we also have a new set coming. So of course we gotta milk the viewers, like always, with another tier list video.
Yeah, so today we got amazing news that Quasar and Borsalino have been pair banned. So we actually get to play some cool decks. So literally we can just jump in, start this tier list with our common subject straight to the bottom of the tier. I mean, you can put it in mega guess just so that we don't double hit them in one day, you know? But
He goes here.
yeah.
Get the fuck out of
here! Get
here!
out of here! So I mean, it's great news. I think it's very good from Bandai's side that they did this. I don't know what you think about the ban list, but I think it's better for the game not to have access to that combo. Like Borsalino is a very strong card, but it doesn't break the game. You know, the together with Quasar it did. So.
Yeah, I agree. And the best news with this isn't only that the toxic combo got banned. It was also that Bandai admitted, okay, we made a mistake, we're gonna fix it. And that's like the best thing you can do as a card game company, as a company overall. Like saying, okay, sorry, we need to make these adjustments, because like either most of the player base were angry, which you sometimes should listen to, but also like they recognize that, okay, wait, this format might not be plausible, especially this combo. So really heads up to Bandai, the best run card game company out there in my opinion, and it's just a class move.
Yeah, I agree. Let's just go straight into it.
Yes, so for the tiers here we have BDIF, and that's like the best decks, like what you would expect, taking up most slots in top cuts. Then you have the contender, and that's like the decks that are good, that could end up in BDIF, but like they are probably like on the level below. And then we have can top maybe, and that's like the okay, maybe one snucks into top cut now and then. And then we have the locals, which are like the decent decks that you probably could do well in local environment. And then we have the meh, where Enel even couldn't be at. So then you know that it's above Enel, but still not the best.
Yep. It's good.
So
I mean, we can just go straight into it, right? Like,
yeah,
Purple Doffy, I think the deck is pretty good. I think it's probably a contender. The only reason why it would be a contender, I think, is because the 10 cost is really good into Purple and L. I think the problem that the deck has is that I feel like Ace will get extra popular now, just because all the yellow players that basically could not play was that like now they're probably gonna go to an Ace, right? If you don't want to play complicated decks, then you want to find another easy, simple deck to play, then Ace is like a good solution, right? So I could see it be like can top or contender, depending on how popular Ace is, because Ace is a really hard matchup for the deck. But I think having access to 10 cost makes it so that, you know, Ace is not Ace. Purple and L is not the matchup you can never win, right?
Yeah, I agree. And like something interesting with the deck too, like everything has to do with like the matchup spread. I have not played that much of other decks than Moria for now, but I have looked a little bit at the meta, so I don't really know how well Doffy do into decks like Lucy. But if you have a good like or decent Lucy matchup, I could see this deck actually doing quite well in events, because you, as you said, like the 10 cost is really strong into NL, and you probably like have a decent matchup spread overall. And also, I have to say for Doffy, it's a deck that I kind of underrated in a way, because I was thinking it's just this curve deck that want to just play this stuff. And in a simple way, it is like that. But later on, you get some complicated things, how you want to play your events. You have Viola, how you want to block, how you want to set up your Dawn. So I think if you are really good at the deck, I think you could do well this format.
Yeah, like the deck needs to actually, the sequencing matters, right? You have to play properly, because minusing Dawn is punishing because it doesn't let you play 10 cost the turn after. So, but I think it's an interesting deck and it's okay positioned. So
for the meta, yeah. And I'm also gonna say that we have put all these leaders that we felt it was worth to talk about. So if your leader is not here, then can roast us down below, of course. Boost our algorithm. Like
true.
dislike or whatever. And also we are not gonna talk like super much about every leader. We're probably just gonna talk more about the leaders who
the
are
better
more
ones,
relevant.
you know, like the next one, for example.
Exactly.
play it at locals or something, or meh. You know, like you got Jinbe back, which is the only thing that this deck has going for it, is that now you can play Jinbe package. But I mean, this deck is it's just not it, right? It's the mono blue Boa, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it just has nothing going for it. I mean, you can
Yeah.
play that locals, you probably do okay, but most likely you will not win locals with this deck now, especially without
Mhm.
Red Rock around. So
Yeah. I think like this is like a one-trick deck. So if every deck in the format loses to like Forkos Law and Gravity Blade, then this deck would probably be crazy.
yep.
But now like that doesn't work anymore in One Piece. So yeah, it's probably here and will probably stay here for the rest of its days.
Yeah, it's probably at Meh actually, but it's okay,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
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 Meh is like, yeah, so it's not bad, but it's not like in these
Yeah.
territories. I
I
think
guess
this deck would have a
let's save locals for a deck that can win locals, and I think Boa would not.
yeah,
So let's just
I
put it on
agree.
Meh, yeah. Same for I think Sabo is probably a local deck, to be honest. I think this deck was the typical yellow deck, which is just really good because of the Quasar combo. Because you could stack your lives and you could play a lot of borsas and you know, and you could buff the borsa and then put it in live or whatever that is. But I feel like now that Quasar is banned, it just drops back to what it was before, right? It's a fun deck. It's powerful. You can do a lot of things with it, so you can win locals with it for sure. But it just doesn't do anything exceptionally good better than the other yellow decks.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like I know people play like the Thriller Bark package and stuff in the deck, but I think like if you want to play Thriller Bark, you should probably just play Moria, and if you want to play like the other part, you should probably just play Nami, in my opinion,
Yep, I agree.
for this format.
So for the
So
best deck in the format, the deck with no bad matchups. It's like if we could have a TR like -1, it's like better than TR0, it would be Mihawk. You know? No, no,
yeah,
no. Let's jokes aside. It's a contender, I think.
yeah,
Yeah. Deck is
I
good.
agree.
It gets a little
I,
bit
I
better now they don't have Quasar, right? Because you can actually kill them now. But you still have the same issue that a lot of these like tempo decks like Calgara, Purple Enel, Moria, I would assume they're just hard to beat, right? So because they put pressure on you and they put you on a clock and they are able to survive even without the Quasar combo, right? Like Moria didn't even play Quasar combo in the normal build. So yeah, I don't think too much
mhm,
changes for Mihawk. It gets a little bit better because like now the Nami matchup is way more doable, right?
mhm.
But yeah, it's just a good deck.
Yeah, I think it's like the insert green deck that
Yeah.
we have in the format. Like before we got haunted by Bonney every single format, and now it's Mihawk.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Mihawk is a lot better for the format to play against than Bonney. So generally, I'm not too opposed to seeing this deck. And also, I think in the regional this weekend in the States, I don't know what state it was in. I think there were two Mihawks in finals. So if the deck does okay into Lucy and NL, I think like the deck could probably be as a contender,
Yeah.
and probably do well at events.
Okay.
So
You
for
talk
the
about this
next
one.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a leader that's near and dear to my heart. So when we got like the Borsa Quasar combo, I was like kind of excited to try this deck out, and especially with getting Raigo back. But now my hopes and dreams are crushed when we don't have the Quasar Borsa anymore. So Vegapunk died for the sins of other leaders, I would say. So I think before the Quasar like Borsa pair ban, maybe it could be in Cantop, maybe because
Mm-hmm.
I think you could find a list that like has great tempo, and then you play like the Raigus to be able to pop, for example, the new gates or other big stuff. But I think now it's like relegated to locals
But I
or
think that
even
was
meh.
part of the issue, right? I think we would put most yellow decks in the can top, maybe. Like
Hmm.
if we would do this tier list before today's ban list, most yellow decks would be in the can top. Like a lot of them would
Yeah.
be there. So I think it's kind of a good thing that not all of them are broken now.
Hmm.
So and what do you think though? Would you play Borsa or Quasar?
Oh, in Vegapunk, I think you would play. I mean, I haven't thought about that actually because it was today, but like I really liked Quasar because you can play like the
Yeah.
blocker from your grave. So I
I think
think I
it's
would
the
go
only
Quasar.
deck that you would even have a discussion, right? Like for every other deck, they basically banned Quasar. But
Yeah,
for this deck, it's actually a choice, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think my solution for the restriction would be to egghead lock Borsa.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess they wanted it to be playable in other yellow decks, which is fair.
Yep.
But then you would still have Vegapunk as a deck, which probably would be more fair with Borsa because it's like the engine is like that. So you know that like the stack. But I don't know. It's still a little bit toxic, I think. So it was probably for the better that no one gets to play it anymore.
Yeah. The Carrot, the thing is maybe can't top. I think like
Could be.
these green decks, depending on what the format would end up looking like, all these decks that can play Luna and they can play the I Know You're Strong event, they will do generally okay because they can freeze the 8/6 cost Enels from Purple Enel, and they generally have an okay matchup into the big mana cards. Like, you know, this deck can go it can go Lobepo into the Restand one and just kill you, right? So I would not be surprised if this deck would randomly top. I don't think it's amazing, but I think it's better than the like your locals deck. So I would not be surprised if it's. I think can top is the correct spot to put it.
Same. So I think one of the cards that like the stocks raised a lot now was Luna.
Yeah.
Because it's good into the new decks that come out, and like depending on how good Emu and Ace is, of course the card is gonna get worse. But if it's more of these like mid-range like tempo decks, then Luna is gonna go crazy overall. So if Carrot is the best Luna deck, then it could maybe even now this is a little bit of a stretch, but it could go up here even because you have the like searchability of it, so you can maybe chain them even. And there's like the deck has good 6 and 7 drops. You can still play something together with it.
Okay.
In general. So for the next one here is a leader that I played a lot lately when it got revealed. I think this is one of the coolest leader effects in the game because it like goes out a little bit of the like how you play like the non-attack leaders, and I think they designed it kind of cool. When I started playing it, I felt like you had quite a decent Enel matchup, and Lucy was free. Boa was really good too because like you play a lot of your blue bounce stuff, so the leader ability is never gonna interact and stuff like that. So I felt like you had quite a good matchup spread into the format until Enel started to run the fucking dog, the holy. Then that matchup became really hard because they can just pressure you so hard, and you don't really have like exactly.
Yeah.
But because before you could just take one life a turn and just interact, and then you could, for example, I played the 5 cost ISO in my list because into NL, if they had like NL as a deck doesn't generate value, it just replaces itself. So if you get rid of like 2 cards with the ISO, for example, they're gonna stay that way, and then you have like a easier way to attack the 8 cost. You can like control the board more, and also into UI Nami you could ISO decrease the Robin and then body pistol it. So I actually want to put it in can top maybe, even though I don't think that's gonna happen because I don't think a lot of people is gonna be in it. But I think, like my personal opinion, if I would like put my heart and everything into this deck, I think it could be here. But I think no one is gonna put in the work in this, so I would probably put it here. And that's like my unbiased or like my unbiased opinion, but my biased opinion would be to put it here.
Yeah, I think we can put it on the top of locals. I really doubt it's gonna be like a deck that has potential to top, like that I would expect it to top. I mean, if it happens, I will be shocked, you know? So then that's why I think you just put it at locals, and if it happens, then we say nice, you know?
Yeah.
What do you think
And
of
also
Sabo?
like
What do you think of Sabo actually?
Sabo. So this is the one of the decks I don't like to play against this deck. Like I don't want this deck to be good because it's just like play blocker, play blocker, play blocker, play blocker, and then like swing with big stuff.
Everything big, yes, and
Exactly.
but people love this deck. People love this Sabo deck.
Yeah, I played it in the Treasure Cup this weekend, and I saw like one made top cut and stuff like that. So like the Sabo community is there, and I think the deck is really strong if it gets to go second and gets to do its curve. But I feel like when you get a matchup you don't like to play against, and when you lose that dice and your opponent plays like a deck that can keep up with your tempo, I think you are in a disadvantage. So I think a deck like this, if you get the right bracket, then you could do crazy. But if you get like some wrong matchups and like lose dice, then I think you can.
I think the
Doesn't do
power
that
level
well.
is there. I think you can't put it at the can top. Yeah. I think the power level
Yeah.
is there, but it is a little bit like hit and miss. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
the right way to say this.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like it to be here because I don't like to play against it. Like generally, how this
I
like
don't
play
mind
blocky
it too
blocky blocky.
much, to be honest, but yeah, it's a little bit of a hit and miss, this deck. Sometimes it feels broken, and sometimes it feels like it does nothing. So,
Yeah,
yeah. What about
I
Robin?
definitely agree with
I
that.
think Robin is one of those decks where I thought it could actually be good with Quasar,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's unplayable without like Local's deck. You can definitely do
Yeah.
okay with it, but the problem that the Robin has is that like for you to get incremental value from the leader effect, the game needs to take multiple turns.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a 4-life leader with no defensive ability. It's very hard for this deck to survive. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
the games you see where they chain heals and they survive forever, the deck feels insane, right? Because you keep poking banish cards from your opponent, they just run out of cards and you win. The problem
Yeah.
is like surviving is like impossible. I think it
Mm-hmm.
was okay with Quasar, and now it's just not a real deck
Yeah.
anymore. I would put it on the bottom of the locals, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't played it too much. I tried it a little bit, but I also think that like you also lose on the aspect that other decks also lose Quasar, because you were quite okay into yellow, I would assume, because you
Yep.
can banish those lives and like punish that, and now like yellow is gonna be worse. So then I feel like the banish effect is gonna be worse in one way, but I still think it's good. But yeah, like the strength of the leader is probably not the banish; it's the way like you take cards by swinging.
Yeah. But that requires you to prolong the game. It's the same with Teach now, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I saw that Teach was really popular the last few days, and that's because of the yellow decks. But now,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I think it was in a good spot with Quasar because you could
Mm-hmm.
basically invalidate it. I would not be surprised if it's two locals now, because I think the decks that are gonna be on top of the meta now are not the best matchups for Teach. Actually, how is Ace for Teach? It's not that good, right?
I think it's all right because I have like in my community a lot of Teach players, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy, Joe, shout out Joe, sent me a matchup spread here, and he's like 21 wins, 11 losses into Lucy, 12 wins, 5 losses into Nami, 10 wins, 1 loss into Moria, 8 wins, 3 losses into Ace, 8 wins, 2 losses into Boa. So I think like the deck has a like nice matchup spread now, outside of Enel and Imu, I
Yeah.
think. So I think it
Lucy's really
should
good,
probably
right?
be here.
Lucy's a
Yeah,
really
yeah,
good matchup.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think if we put Carrot here, this one should probably also be here.
Sure.
I wouldn't be surprised if like Teach
No,
can
I can
sneak into
see it.
top cut.
I think like if you dodge purple and L, you're probably in an okay spot, right?
Yeah.
Or if GP doesn't become like a real deck or something like this, if you don't get any other decks that just end up becoming a top tier deck out of nowhere, I think then
Hmm.
Teach will be in a good spot.
Yeah. I think GP still will be hard, but I think it will be a little bit better than before because of GP doesn't run as many stages, like one to none.
Yeah.
So then you have an easier way of controlling the board. But I would still say that it's an uphill battle
Yeah.
because like GP tempo, you need to trash from turn one,
The Rush
essentially.
Luffy is just yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
GY low. I mean, I haven't played too much with the deck. You lose a lot of like you basically have no loss left, right? Like no 5-cost loss left. They all um what is it called? Rotated. They all
Disappeared.
rotated.
Yeah.
And but the deck is still fine. You can play 6-cost low and you can bounce Borsa so you can heal again. But honestly, it's probably a top of locals deck. Like
Yeah, I want to
around
put it
there.
under because
Yeah. I think it's not good enough to like it could do good, but I would be surprised if I would see it top. So yeah.
and especially now with losing Kid, you kind of die to more aggressive decks
Mm-hmm.
because you can't like set up that Kid, so you have to play it in a more aggressive way. than before. But I think this is a leader that if Bandai decides to give it good support, this leader could end up becoming crazy.
Yeah,
I think it's
agree.
just a matter of time.
I think it's
Because
like
the
one
effect is...
card off. It's like one card off being really good. I feel like one really strong 5-drop. So
And I think now, especially without Kid, I think this deck would go hard if it was one of the better decks. Like, because I played it and you also played it before. And I think the most toxic aspect was when you bunkered behind your Kid. So I think it would be cool if it becomes like RG Law was in the beginning, like more just tempo, play
yeah.
stuff, generate value.
And the problem is that the
Um,
heal law, the 8-cost heal law you got is not a supernova. So you cannot search it, you can't, right? That's the biggest issue that the deck has, is the fact that, yeah, like your 7-cost is, but the 8-cost is not, so it's very inconsistent when you see it.
yeah,
So, yeah.
but isn't there argument that you maybe could run the Rosie Searcher and play like 16 to 20 laws?
There is just
If they
not
print
enough
like another
laws.
good?
I tried it, yeah. But that's what I said. It's missing like a good 5-drop that would fill in the slots, right? You can
Yeah.
play Perona now because the 8-cost is a slash.
Mm-hmm.
But if you play Perona, right, you don't have enough slash targets because the laws are gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's missing like a good 5-cost law. That's what it's missing. So yeah. What about you,
Maybe we get
Piluf?
one.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, maybe we get one soon. I was
Yeah,
just gonna say.
yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
I saw people coping on UP Luffy already. I'm not sure if I can see it because I will assume that the purple and L matchup is terrible. I don't think Ace is good now for you because you don't have Retrox anymore, so they're just bigger. Yeah, I don't know how Lucy would be, but I would assume Lucy would not be bad, but it would also not be like amazing. Maybe I can see top for sure. Like the power level is there, right? There's no way you can ever put UP Luffy at locals, but I don't think it's a contender.
Yeah. I think UP Luffy is gonna be a deck that probably always gonna be right here until the deck rotates. Because the like leader ability is so strong, you're a 6k leader. I don't know, I maybe like it could get like completely power crept in the future, but I feel like the like it always seems to to make it somehow each event, at least like topping now and then.
Yep. Like whenever you forget about it, it just comes back stronger, you know. Shira.
Shirahoshi. Yeah, this is a interesting deck that a lot of people probably counted out.
I have no clue about this deck.
Yeah,
I played against it a
I
few
talked to...
times, but I haven't played against it. I haven't played it myself much.
Yeah.
So.
I think like this is a Luna deck, of course. And because of the 7-cost, the snake looking sea monster,
Yes.
you can actually like draw a lot of cards and filters. You can actually like, even though you can't search a card, you can just draw into it if you play multiple copies. So I think that this deck actually probably is around here. And I know it did top in Bonn, the regional, not the top cut. Went 8-2, almost made the top cut. So like, I think some things are going for it with like Luna being strong.
I'm not sure how
Like,
this deck beats Lucy though. Purple Enel. I guess you will like stunlock Luna stunlock the Enel, but because you have the 3-cost on that can heal you. Maybe Enel is an okay matchup, and then I have a hard time seeing you beat Lucy and Ace with this deck.
yeah, I like, I don't know this spread. I like what I've heard and like I've seen. I think it should be here. Like,
Okay,
it's definitely probably better than these two, I
you can
think,
put
at
it. You
least.
can put it there. I think the concept is powerful, right? So
Yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone tops with it. Essentially. So for the next tier we have Vivi.
I think Vivi is a locals deck now.
Yeah,
I don't think we should
I think
talk too much about it because I think it was okay. It was okay. Like it was like a heroines battle deck. It felt like to me. But now NL is just a better fast deck if you want to play a fast deck, and as a control deck, it's just I don't think it's good enough. You die too fast. It's just a typical 4-life leader, right? 4-life leader with no protection, like no way to protect yourself, which is it's a not a great spot to be at, even though it plays a lot of removals.
Yeah, I think the problem for this leader was that it got released too late. Like, if it would get all the cards in EBO3 at the spot where it came to Japan, I think this leader would actually probably be really good for like a format, and then like whittle away. But now like we got everything too late, essentially.
Bonney, your favorite deck?
That's your favorite deck.
You say, and then I'll say what I want.
I would probably put it in locals. I think it's time to pack it up for Bonney.
I think I would probably put it at can top maybe. Just because it's your typical green deck, right? I think to me it's similar to Carrot. I'm not sure which one is better from the two. I would assume that Bonney is better than Carrot just because the effect is. I mean, Bonney's effect is just there, right? It's like always gonna tap something. I would assume that you could build Bonney to beat Purple Enel if you want to. So I think if your deck has a good matchup into Purple Enel, it by default can top, right? So yeah, I think it's okay where you have it now. Not too much to say about it. It's the same thing every time. The 5-cost Bonney is broken, the one that from EBO3. So that's one of the reasons why this deck would be, let's say, better than Carrot, is because you have access to that card. It's the 5-drop that untaps a Dawn and makes us 8-cost not able to rest. Right? So yeah, that card is really good.
Yeah.
It also works against Enel, even if they up the cost. Right, so you could play Luna, so you could play the I Know You're Strong, and if they play the event that ups the cost, you can just 8-cost freeze instead, and then save the other freezes for when they don't have the cost increase anymore. But yeah, let's not spend too much more time on Bonney, I think.
Yeah, we just want to add, I think, like one thing, like I haven't played against it or with it anything after rotation also, but also losing Kid, I feel like is quite annoying.
I agree. It's worse than it was, I think, but it's your typical green deck, right? Yeah. Now this deck got a lot worse. Like this deck, I think got hit like way more than before, because it used to be that all these high-end decks were very good because you would just stun lock them with like Retrox, and now you don't have it. So I think Sanji just has locals deck now. I think like your only way to win is like Turbo Sanji, and then there is the decks that are much better at doing the turbo thing you want to do. Against Enel also, your leader starts ramping after some time, so your leader effect gets very hard to use being efficient, because good Enels, right, will stay at 4 Dawn every turn, and then once you hit the 4 Dawn window, the 5 Dawn window, you cannot like ramp anymore, and you're stuck to this low amount of Dawns, which makes the game plan really hard, right?
Yeah. I think that like you probably go away more from like the control. I feel like it has been like this format, and as you said, goes more like a turbo deck where you just try to build a big board and like play Rages and like try to win with beatdown with your Sanjis, but not being able, as you said, to remove these tall sticks would be probably really annoying for the deck overall. I wouldn't be surprised if it got a top if it had the right bracket, but I think it probably should be here
it's
for now.
insanely unlikely, right?
Yeah.
How do you beat Purple Enel with this deck?
You pull up a gun from your back. You do it. So the next one is Crocodile, which has been really hyped overall because like the engine is still strong, and you get access to the new 7-cost Luffy. I don't know if you haven't played anything against it or with it.
I think the deck is really good. I think it's a contender probably. It's a weird thing to say because like it was supposed to be good against yellow, right? That's why it was on the top. But I think it's good against Purple Enel. Or at least it's not bad against Purple Enel. And I think by default, because it does okay into that deck, and I think it does okay into the other big decks of the format, it's I don't know how the ace matchup is though. I would assume that's bad. But again, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking at OP Bounty here, and the Croc, this is like 7,000 games. It has 45% win rate overall, and has a red matchup into everything that's not Mihawk, Doffy, and Moria in the spread.
So it only beats Mihawk?
And
Mihawk.
Moria and Doffy.
Purple Doffy.
Yeah.
So it loses to Enel
And
as well.
yeah, but it's 44%. And also it's like, of course, like it's the first week, so everyone's gonna play differently. But that's just what the statistics say now. I'm not like putting in anything more to it.
No, I know. I think the deck looked good at least, so it could be a contender. I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of a meme and it's not as good as I think, but I think it's okay to be there. I'm not. I'm okay to keep it where it is now. I don't know what
Yeah.
you think. Yeah.
No, I've seen it win a couple of flagships in Asia and like 1-3-3 or something. So it has to have something going for it. And I think it will fall into the bracket that I was gonna say if you get your good matchups you could do well, but I'm looking at the the stats now. But yeah, I think this deck probably still is like decent, and like I would imagine a lot of new people hop on into it now. So I think you still have to play this deck quite a lot to get into it because it's like you need to set up your engine, you want to like do this. So yeah, we could probably leave it here. I think if I had like the 100% veto I would probably put it here, but I
Yeah.
think it could be in the
I think the
contender.
fact that the next deck disappeared is why the deck got better more than anything. So like Imu was a terrible matchup for the deck, and now that Imu is not played at all almost, that's why this deck picked up. But I think actually Imu could top. I don't know if it's a contender. I think it was good against yellow, I think. So I'm not sure if this Quasar ban is a good thing for Imu. I would say it's probably a bad thing for Imu. Because like now, like Mihawk will get more popular, and Purple Enel is a terrible matchup, and that one will get more popular. So I think before maybe Imu was a contender, and now it's maybe top. That's what I think.
Yeah, I agree. Like I have like people are still on Emu, and I think like if you are crazy good on this deck, like you know every matchup, how to play, more than just spamming the tank costs. Because I think on a surface level that's what the deck wants to do, but there's more to it, like how you swing, how you use Noshiro, how you build up, how you defend. So I think you still have to be like good at the deck to do well with it. So I would probably see it either here or here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it struggles a lot into NL, as I've heard. I've heard it has a decent matchup into Lucy, even though they can bounce your stage, because you can just like park your big guy for a turn. But the problem then is that the Lucy can like go for Fire Fist into, oh no, a Flame Emperor into Fire Fist and pop it. So I think that's a bit of a problem. But now I also remember that the Fire Fist makes it so that you need to have 2 life or less to pop, so you have to pitch 2 cards. But I think if you can just try to get that set up, so even never can go for tank cost, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I would probably put it somewhere in between here. I think
Yeah.
it's better than Crocodile if I got to choose.
Oh really? I think it's not.
Okay.
I think Crocodile has a chance against Purple Enel. I think with Imu you just lose. And I think if Purple Enel will be the one most popular deck in the game, you can't pick a deck that just loses to it, right?
Yeah. No, that's definitely true.
Yellow Luffy. Oh, how happy I
Yeah.
am that this deck is not as good anymore. I mean, this deck is just the most linear deck in the game by a mile. It's still probably okay. It's probably
Yeah.
better than the other local decks, just by the fact that it's a yellow deck with Borsa that trashes your life. But it's like this deck is like this kind of deck is like the similar to Bonney. It's like the decks that I wish they didn't exist, in a way where it's like, well, they're good for the game because it's good to be able to play good decks that are simple, right? But it's like this Luffy deck, there's nothing going on. You're just playing the card in your hand that looks at the cost for the turn, and then you go on, right?
Yeah.
So it's just not
You're
very
not selling your.
inspiring.
Yeah, I agree. You're not selling your guy that well now.
My free 30-second guide is
Yeah.
gonna be okay.
Exactly. No, I don't want to talk about this leader anymore. I think
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
as you said, so boring, like bad designed, or bad design or bad design. Like I think the cards around it is bad designed, or like not. It's just boring, plain out. I think. So next up,
It's
Rosie,
my boo. I
your
think
boo.
I think that there is a very big misconception out there And that misconception is that Enel absolutely obliterates Rosie. So I think that's not true, and I think we just haven't found the list, or you guys that try haven't found the list that can do okay. I have played a bit of Rosie, and it feels like Enel is probably not the best matchup, but definitely not as bad as people think it is. And I do think you do very good against everything else. So, and the fact that Retroc is gone, and that the blue decks now, because like the smaller characters don't matter anymore, right? The fact that the purple Enel exists made people remove removal from their deck. Right? Like decks don't play removal anymore. Like there is no gravity blades, there is no, which just by default makes this Rosie deck better. So if I would put it, I would put it into a contender. I know it's maybe you guys think it's crazy that I'm saying this, but unless the format evolves and then NL really is a matchup that's like 70-30, and if you find NL you just lose, then you will beat everything else with Rosie, and that's a really good spot to be at, right? So I think I would be surprised if Rosie is bad in this format.
Yeah,
But I am
I
biased.
think.
I am biased.
Yeah. I think for me, like I don't have that much to say. To me, this is a Sabo reskin deck. Use play blockers
Mm-hmm.
and swing. But one of my like doubts for this leader would be that Lucy also is a deck, and Lucy plays a lot of power reduction,
Mm-hmm.
and I would imagine it's hard to push through like the wall of Sabos. In a way, and they also play body pistol and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how the matchup is into Lucy, but have you tested it any?
I played a bit against Lucy. I think it was okay. But I
Okay,
could be
yeah.
wrong, and I just didn't play against good. I only played on Sim, right? So
Hmm.
but I feel like it's one of those matchups where like they can't use the reduction to pop your character, and you can heal forever because you're playing Borsas now in the Rosie
Hmm.
deck. So like you can actually survive quite long, and they can never tap their Sabos. Because the turn they tap their Sabo to attack, you just kill them. Right? Because your board is gonna look something like Rosilo, 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 I don't know, like a Borsa and another character, right? And I don't want to reveal too much, but there is a tech card that is played in the deck now that destroys Sabo. So, or Lucy. So, but you will see. You will see when the time comes. I'll make some content on it. I already played a bit on stream with it, but I think Rosie's in a okay spot now.
Yeah, I think I can't talk about it that much, to be honest.
Yeah,
So
it's
I trust your judgment, Skepas.
yeah. We will see. Maybe I'm wrong.
If you're wrong, then I'm booking a flight to the Netherlands, and I'm gonna give you a wet willy.
Oh, whoa. Pause. So BY Luffy, I
No.
know people were excited about this deck. I don't know, man. Every time I see it play, just I'm not impressed. I think people were super impressed about this deck and they were excited to play it. But I feel like it's just a locals deck.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I have played a little bit against it, and like when it goes off, it goes off. But like outside of that, I think I would imagine you have a hard time into Lucy because of the bot decks and like the resource generation. I don't know how you do into NL, but I would see that one maybe also be hard. And like I don't know. I think maybe if you're like really good at the deck and have like a really sharp list, maybe this one
Yeah,
could do something.
maybe we haven't found the list that's good
Uh,
yet, right? But the
yeah.
games I've seen with the list that are played now, I think it's not that good.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a cool deck though, but yeah, I would also put it here in the locals. So up on the menu, your favorite leader of all time, except RG Law, I guess.
Well, I don't know actually. Maybe it is my favorite. But
Mm-hmm.
so I think your pick got better now. Not that the yellow matchups were bad, but you now don't need to play as like careful. Like you had to play like a specific amount of defensive events so you make sure you don't just straight up die or you had to make sure that you play like more than your usual amount of ways to interact with like a blocker, you know. So I think you get way more freedom to play with the like to play your list now, which is of course really good, right? Because the lists are very tight with this deck. So I think the deck gets better. I don't know if I'll put it at a contender. It's a little bit crazy that I'll put GP at can top and Rosie at contender. But I think it's probably like very high can top, like close to contender is what I would be my guess. I think if something would hold back GP, it will be Ace being popular. Nothing else. I think no other deck. No, you don't care about any other deck in the game right now. I think Enel, purple Enel is hard, but you can tech around it because you are a green deck with Lunas and freeze events, right? But Ace, I don't know. I have a very hard time finding a way to deal with Ace, and yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I trust your judgment on this one too.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. If you're wrong, then you know what's happening.
You can talk
So
about this one.
yeah, so the McDonald's Bonney, like originally when it got revealed, I thought it would be really strong because like you just take life, you become 7k leader, you just like Shane Luffy's or like you play what is it called, Zoro, you play the Ben Beckman, you do stuff. So I felt like yeah, this deck might actually be quite strong, but right now I feel like it has not like proven as being like a top tier deck. But I think maybe with some more like testing, deck building, and like other yellow decks being worse, which I would imagine are like not your favorite matchup. I don't know. I would probably put it here just because I don't know.
I think it was very good before the Quasar ban.
Mm-hmm.
Like very good. I think now it's like it's fringe, like it's like playable. It's like okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be surprised if you had a good day and you could chain 5 ways of becoming 9k leader in a row and you win every game, you know? So but I'm not sure. I guess Raigo is also a good addition to the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you can actually deal with the 10 cost ace from the ace. So yeah, I could see it being here. Not too
Yeah.
much to say about it. Just a yellow deck that has a leader buff, right? Very
Mm-hmm.
annoying deck to
And
play against, though. Very annoying.
I agree, and I would not be surprised if it ends up here.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I think like a new list has to be found, especially as you said with Raigo. That's like that card is really good, especially for a deck like this.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of how good is it into the format and what can people cook now with Quasar Borsa gone, essentially.
Crazy
So for
how
the next one here,
it's crazy how this deck was never good in EU. Like this deck dominated in Japan for a while, but was actually never good in Europe. In none of the formats it came out did anything, I think. Like we rarely had any in the top cut. In Bone, there was 0 in top 32. And even now, even before the Quasar ban, you didn't see it that much online. It was like a deck you saw very rarely. So, and I think it just got infinitely worse now. They lost Retrock, Pudding, and now Quasar. I think the deck is just not a deck anymore, like a locals deck.
yeah, I think so too, and like my like biggest issue I think so why it's what's worse here was because like we had more time to prepare for it, like to learn how to play against the deck more than what Asia had. Like when a new deck comes out, maybe that has something to do with it. But also yeah, I think this is just a scuffed version of Blue Yellow Nami, essentially. Like every single reason to play Boa, Nami already has and does it better, I think. And like you're also like really trigger dependent. You need to hit that like 2 first life or like first life. Like if you hit like Gorgon Sister into another trigger, the deck feels like broken. But the 80% of the games where you don't hit that, then the deck doesn't do that
It's
well.
just too much of a high roll, right? Like
Yeah, this is the Casino Premier deck in the format, I
yeah,
would say.
that's true.
With the
So Smoker, I asked for this one to be added actually because they get the new 8 cost Smoker. So like in theory, is like your permanently 7k leader. I have no idea how this deck is gonna do. I think it's one of those decks that is probably okay against Enel because again it's green, so you can tech against them. But it's weaker than I expected it to be. So I think it's just another locals deck. I think you can do good with it at locals, but it's like I feel like it's missing something. I think the fact that I think it's similar to what I said before about the 4 life leaders with no way to heal or protect themselves. It's very hard for them to survive even against like decks like Ace, right? They hit you every turn, big hits. And once you get to the point where your leader is like big stats wise, then their board is bigger than your character, which it doesn't matter anymore, right? So yeah, I think that's the issue. Like 8-cost Kid was really good for this deck, and losing 8-cost Kid is a hit to it.
Yeah, I actually haven't looked into this deck at all. I just know that the new Navy card is strong, but it's not 8-cost Kid. Essentially.
Your deck now.
But for the next leader now, the one, the GOAT, the
let me say one
Onion.
thing. Let me say one thing. Rene was able to gaslight people into thinking that the loop is broken. Okay? I'll just say it out there. The amount of people who text me to tell me, did you see that the game was broken? To me was crazy. Like the loop was funny and it would probably work sometimes. Right? And but it was not a broken thing, right? It was not. So
I just had to jump in and say, I think at least, and I don't think Rene ever said it was broken. Like if you look at like the Moria group and everything, like probably it's not a real. Like we said, this could be real, but it probably is not. So I just have to say that out there that like I never like wholeheartedly believed in it, but it was interesting. You have like ways to cook the deck a little bit more.
It was funny.
Exactly. But yeah, it was never that good. But for this leader now, for this format, I'm gonna give my biased opinion and I'm gonna give my unbiased opinion, okay? So my biased opinion...
No way, bro.
is that it is best deck in format. It's one of the best decks in the format. And my unbiased opinion is that, of course, it's best deck in format. No, but to like seriously say it, I wanna put it here. Because like if you look at the matchup spread, you have like a good matchup or like at least a 50-50 into NL. You have a good matchup into Lucy. You have a good matchup into Ace, into like almost everything, especially if you look at OP Bounty. And like it says you have a bad matchup into Nami, and like I'm like really positive like win rate wise into Nami, and I'm playing like on high rank ladder. So like I wouldn't be surprised if it lands here, but I think like to do this fully unbiased and like everything, I would probably put it down here for now.
Yeah. I think it's good, but I don't think it's nowhere near the level of like the one deck that I will put at BDIF. So
yeah, I think it's agree to disagree moment.
Yeah, it's okay.
Actually,
it's okay, right? Like we don't have to. I think the deck is good. Like I'm not saying it's not. It's like we're having the same discussion we had in the last one, remember? And then I ended up playing it in the Parry King thing myself anyway.
So and what did you win with?
I did. I won.
Yeah, but what was the score?
4-0 against Mihawk.
For BDIF.
I know. But I think it's in the similar spot it used to be back then, right? Like it gets a lot of benefit by people not knowing how to play against the deck. So
yeah,
if I want it to be the best deck in the format, it needs to not give your opponents options or ways that they can play better into the deck, right? So it's definitely good, and I think it will see play and it will do good. But I think it's one step lower than the best decks in the format. So I think it's good. Where you have it now, it's good.
Yeah, I think I have to sort agree with you until it's proven. And as I said, my biased opinion would be to put it here. And like I would also, if I didn't lose round 0 every event this season, I would also like put my words like in my mouth to test. Like I would play it. I did play it in Bonn, for example. So I would of course play this format too. And I think if you like know this deck to 100%, I think you would do really well in overall.
The 4-cost is always a very big addition, right? And the 1-cost Hawk pack.
Yeah, it makes everything more consistent, and also now you can play more black hogbacks because you mill more, so you can like mill the combination of black hogback and the 6 cost, or you could like draw into the black hogback and add back the 6 cost, so you have like the 6 cost more consistently,
Yep.
and everything. But I think if I have to do this wholeheartedly unbiased, I think I would put it here. But I think in a month or something, then like you will agree with me to put it here, right?
Ooh, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
Okay, this
But yeah,
ace
I would
deck.
put it there.
This ace deck was just a friend. It's like a deck that was good with Quasar, because you could just heal all of the babies and then heal a lot with Borsalino and just abuse Borsalino. Borsalino is still a card. Deck is like a very good locals deck, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just you're gonna
I
have a lot
agree.
of fun if you play this deck. Your opponents probably won't because you're gonna heal 100 times. But it's just a fun locals deck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And then for the next one,
This is Sky Luffy.
yeah, I
Okay,
think people call it the Bell Luffy.
Bell Luffy. This is the most overrated deck in the game by a mile. I have to say, I know you won't like this, chat, but I had no idea why you would play this deck. Like, it was worse than the other yellow decks, and it was not even good against the popular decks. Like, I never understood what the purpose of it. Like, I played against it with Purple and Enel. It felt totally fine. I felt like I was favored. Maybe I wasn't, but it felt I was favored. I played against with Calgara. I obliterated. I play against this deck with, I don't know, GP, whatever deck I play with. Any deck I play against it, I felt like that deck just died. You know, you'd attack into it and they were just missing something. You know, the protection part doesn't matter as much if your opponent doesn't care about your board and just goes for face instead. And I think it's the one of deck that would really benefited from the Borsa combo, because it will help you survive a lot. Also because you have the one cost spell that heals a life for 1. I don't know. I don't see why you would play this deck over Blue Yellow Nami, for example, or over Calgara. No.
I also want to add to that, like, this deck is probably the deck that healed the most with like all of your cards. So the odds of you finding the Quasar randomly was like higher than other decks. So like losing that too actually puts it down quite a bit. And I think I would put it here.
Sure.
It could get a top here and there because people will play it. And
but
like,
what deck is it gonna beat from the top ones you have there?
Like what I've seen, like statistic wise, and what I've heard is that it does well into NL. And like I haven't played a single game of this deck and haven't like looked at like the NL matchup for it. But what I've heard is like you do decent. But yeah, I think as you said, like there's no reason not to play this over Nami.
No, but I'm saying, look at the contender tier now. Which deck do you think you beat with this deck? I think not a single one of them.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know actually because I haven't played it.
I didn't play it either. But I'm saying by my, because we're speculating, chat. We're like guys watching. We're speculating. So based on what I'm seeing, I think it doesn't beat any of the contender decks. So how can I put it in like a good tier, right? So yeah, that's why.
Wanna bump it down to locals?
It's fine. You can keep it there, but I think it's not as good.
Yeah, I think this might be a thing that like the girth of the players, the like amount of the players, might carry one to top cut because people will be on it.
Yeah.
Essentially, and then I just wanted to put Foxy here because like we have Boa here and some other decks. I'm just gonna like it's a locals deck.
Sure. I can see it.
Yeah.
What about
and then we have the Dawn.
Have you played?
Like I played against it, and I think this deck is god awful dog shit. Like I don't want to offend anyone with this, but like
did not play the thing. A single game or a single time against it. So I have no info about this deck. Zero.
Yeah. Like the problem for Krieg is that okay, so like the leader effect obviously is incredibly broken. Like -2 to your opponent's entire board is like that's not a bad effect by any means. And the other effect by tapping things with like Dawn on it is also really strong, right? Because I think you can tap anything as long as it has 2 Dawn. So that effect is like crazy good, but the problem is that it's locked to East Blue. So the leader is actually good, but like the engine is not there. Like you have to run like I've seen lists run like Alvidas and like random cards that doesn't feel that good, and you just have to run them because the East blue. So in the future, if this leader gets good support, I could see this leader become good. But for now, like the engine is like far from being good enough to be able to contend. But I think you could probably do well in locals with it. That's my take.
Yep, sure.
So for the next one,
Unfortunately,
have
I have to
Ace.
put this at like contender for sure. Like this deck is just. I think it's the only problem I have left with the game right now. No joke. Like, it's just your typical 8k leader for 23 turns in a row. And most decks cannot beat that. Or most aggressive type decks, if this deck just curves out and sees like spell 10 into like a Zoro, you basically cannot win, right? So it's just a very polarizing kind of deck. Like the reason why I think Rosie could struggle is Ace. Like the only thing like holding back Rosie, if you can solve the Enel matchup somehow, like make it closer, is Ace being there is the thing that's gonna hold you back, right? Because yeah, it's just a big leader with Jozu, stops your curve out. It just the deck is super strong, right? They didn't gain anything. Literally, it gained Zoro 7 cost, which is broken. It lost Pudding and Retrock, but it doesn't matter because other decks also lost Retrock and Pudding, right? So it just makes the game so different. But yeah, you can now, most matchups, you can just stack a few 10 costs and then kill them after 10 turns, you know? So,
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like to add to that, like for me, I have 3 cards I want gone from the game now. You could say 2, and that's the holy for Enel, the dog. I don't like that card at
that's
all.
what
I
a
think it
turtle would
was
say, man.
no, but like I don't know. I just don't like it. I think like it wasn't designed to be good. I just think like haha, we're just gonna throw it in and like oh wait, this card was broken. That's just my opinion on it.
Okay.
I don't enjoy to play against it, and yeah, that's it. Like I could see like it's still here. And also it's the 8 cost event, and then you could argue the 7 cost stage for Emu, but Emu doesn't do that much anymore, so like it's not as much of a problem. But if Emu would come up again, like I just think the gameplay to play against it is kind of boring, like how it like warps the format around it. I don't know, I just don't like that way. And also like the OP13 format we had was like horrible for like making content and looking at, because it was just like 10 drops being played
It
at
killed,
each other
it
in
killed
like
all creativity, right? That format killed all
yeah.
creativity fully. You had no chance to build anything. And I think this format now is great for creativity. Like, this tier list we're doing now could look like nothing like this if somebody just finds a, I don't know, a Vivi deck that's broken. Like a list for
Or like
Vivi,
a
or like a Brook deck that breaks the game, right? Like, that's why I think Brook is, like leaning into Brook, is the most interesting of the new leaders, because like it has the same issue that the other decks have. It's a non-defensive 4-life leader. So in theory, right, it just dies like the other 4-life leaders that cannot defend themselves, right? If you see how the view looks like, basically every 4-life leader with no defensive ability is not on the top, right? Moria heals, Rosie heals, then GP is a 6k leader, Sabo is a 6k leader, Shirahoshi has 5 lives, right? And Bonney is a 7k leader. So
an ace is ace.
an Ace is a 23 life leader. So
Yeah.
so my point is, like, it's hard to survive, but this deck has one powerful access to the Luffy, the Nightmare Luffy, which makes it so that at the 7 don't turn or 8 don't turn with the Nami, you basically get to become a 8k leader or a 7k leader for the rest of the game, right? So it's not like a baseline, but you're so consistent at finding the cards, which you are almost always at 7 Dawn playing Nightmare Luffy, or at 8 Dawn playing Nightmare Luffy. You can do that if you want to, which adds some defending element to the deck, which makes it possible to survive. And it gets one big benefit, that the green side of it has a straw hat card that can freeze. So because you get so much access to Straw Hat cards and like seeing Straw Hat cards, you can play the I know you're strong, so I'll go all out. And then you can have a tool to defend against the Purple and L. So I think there is no good list for the deck out there yet, and like the best list has not been found yet for Brook. But I would not be surprised if the deck would be Cantop.
I'm just
Brook.
gonna do this.
Yeah, like I think
Oh,
this.
wait.
You.
I
Nah, it's fine.
this was Cantop, maybe.
It's fine. Just put it at the Cantop. Oh, you're gonna put it on zone? Sure, it's fine. You can put it on zone.
Yeah. Brook. I was gonna do it like this because as you said, like if
I think it's one of those decks that can break.
Exactly. Like if
I didn't have a full-time job, I would put at least 50 hours into this deck trying to see if I can break it. Let's put it like that, right? So
and I've seen some like interesting loop combos and everything. So I think like if you find the right list, it's here. But if you don't, it's
But for
it's
now,
here
I think it's like Cantop, right? So yeah. You can keep it there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in the book it makes it more interesting. And then next up we have Lucy, which is like one of the better decks coming out of OP15. Some argue it's the best, some argue it's the second best. So I want to hear your points first on this leader.
It is definitely not the best. I don't think it's remotely close to Enel, actually. I played the deck and against the deck, and it has a pretty big weakness. Like it has a very, like you can really take advantage of the weakness of the deck, which is that, like they just play very little amount of counter that can defend their characters, right? So it's very hard for them to protect the board with the way that the decks are built. I think the deck is a contender. It's definitely a very strong deck, but I don't think it's remotely close to Purple Enel that we're going to talk about before. I think Purple Enel is a good tier above it. Yeah, but it's a very strong deck. Yeah.
I think for Lucy, I'm just gonna put up the spread here first again. I think you had like a quite good matchup into like almost everything except Enel. And Enel had like a hard time against Nami and the yellow decks. It was like kind of a triangle. And now when yellow gets nerfed, I think that pseudo nerfs Lucy. So I would agree with you that I think before ban list I would probably put it at the BDIF, but I think after the ban list you get worse because your good matchups got worse.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit like Usopp in OP10 where like all your good matchups went away and like your bad matchups, like your more difficult matchups.
Yes. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, next.
Enel is next. It's the best deck in the format. I think there is no discussion on that one. I think like the other best decks are gonna be decks that can handle Enel. I think like if your deck cannot handle Purple Enel, at least you have a fair shot. Your deck is just unplayable. That's the way to. That's why I think like the green decks are positioned okay because they have a way to deal with them. Of course, as Enel, you just play the spell that increases cost. But the thing that Enel has is it's probably can't top for the average Andy out there. Like the deck is really complicated to play. There is so much sequencing going on. Like the more I watch people play the deck, the more I want to like
I know where this is going.
Yes. So but like the deck is, if you know how to play the deck well, it's broken. It's like super strong. But I personally like having decks like this at the top. Decks that have a clear weakness. Well, unfortunately, only one of the colors can punish the weakness, right? Which is the green color. But like you know how the deck plays, and it's very complicated, and it will only reward, I feel like, the best of the best. Of course, it's not great, and if we see that it is, in fact, by far the best deck and it's a problem, then we will talk about it later. But I think it's a good best deck to have in the format. You know?
Yeah. And I agree with your point. But so to add to this too, like I think the deck is like incredibly strong. As you said, like the engine is really good, compact. It works well with each other. Like the cards replace themselves. You get a lot of free value by like your leader effect. and stuff like that. I know you also have the incredibly broken card in Holy, which I think should be they should take him away to a animal shelter, and then
Bro.
unfortunately he was aggressive, so they had to put him down or something.
Leave Snoop Dogg alone, bro.
Yeah, I mean
Bro,
you can play the bird instead. You can.
no, Snoop Dogg is the definition of smork, bro. We
Yeah,
want Snoop Dogg.
you
So
want to smork.
yep.
Yeah, I think that, and like the only problem I think Enel could see is that if people target the deck, like everyone just builds to beat it, then I think like if you're gonna play against bad matchups in quotation marks entire day and mirrors, I think that could be annoying because there are some ways you can target it. Like as you said, you can play green stuff to freeze. I think Moria does quite well into it with Perona, and stuff like that. And also like the other issue for the deck is that the only way you really search your deck, I would say you could argue Satori technically searches, but it's also the 6 cost NL. So if you open like a hand without Holy or you have Holy but not Ohm or stuff like that, where Ohm and not Holy. So I think that can be like the only problem. And that's to add to your point too, with like that's when the deck becomes more difficult, right? Where you can't like have these games where you
Yeah.
steamroll your opponent and you have to play more with like a more fair version of it, which also is like incredibly strong.
Or when you don't see your 6 costs, right? How do you win then? There is ways, but it becomes way harder. So
Exactly, I agree. And yeah, I don't think there's much more to add to it. This ban list was a gift to NL because you struggle into Nami especially.
So next up is Calgara. I like this deck a lot. I think the biggest issue Calgara has is the leaders that become big, like Ace and like Bonney, red yellow Bonney, and like blue yellow Nami. But I think blue yellow Nami now is way more manageable without Quasar. So I think Calgara will be a contender. I think the deck is really cool. It got very powerful with the Viper. It's one of the few decks that has a way to deal with like a nail early game very efficiently. And because you can still play Borsa and Noland, you can heal a lot, right? And you can even play for Kozoro because the Sky Island card you can search. So I mean, you used to probably run Quasar before. You lose Quasar as well, but you were like the least of the Quasar decks out there, right? You're just more a tempo aggressive deck. I think the fact that Lucci is a free matchup is a very big, good spot to be at for Calgara. Like the fact that you just straight up win if you see Lucci is massive. So, yep.
Yeah, I haven't played the deck as much. I know you played a lot before, so I don't think I can fill in the words a lot on it. If the deck seems good in the format, it could probably be here, but it could also like I don't know. I would probably put it somewhere here too.
I think it's good.
Yeah. So for the next one here, we have Gol D. Roger.
It's been a long time since I've seen this deck be played, to be honest. So, but again, it's like your typical deck that becomes 9k leader and maybe can win. So I guess it's like it can top, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. Like I don't know how good it is. I haven't played it that much.
No idea.
And I think it's quite manageable for Moria. You just like try not to go wide. You try more to go tall, and like swing a lot of sevens early game, and then it's like quite nice because you take cards. So yeah, I don't know. In like if you have if you have a good day and you high roll, then this deck could win like every event, right?
I agree.
But yeah, I think because the consistency issues, I think it has to be here still in it.
This deck is like, I'm so confused about this deck. I don't know if it's good or not. It's like sometimes it looks good, sometimes it doesn't look good. It's I don't know if I would put it at the contender tier. Definitely at the top part, like maybe on the top of the can top part. But I have a hard time seeing it at the contender side. I don't know. I feel like it's missing something.
Yeah, I think if you're Rick Master, then you could probably put it there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, probably here. I think it's. I don't know. Yeah, I feel the same thing. It's a weird deck in a way because it like plays the game completely different to other decks. And you can play Luna. You can also actually search Luna in this deck with Garp, and you have like some things going for you.
Broken
exactly.
Effect, right? But I
with
feel
it
like
all.
it's
So
like
like,
there's something missing. I don't know. I feel like maybe it's like the round table going away, making it so that you can't clear big things anymore. So now they just stack up some big stuff and you're in trouble. I feel like the ace matchup got pretty bad as well.
mhm.
I'm not sure how you do against Lucy, but I would assume it's bad.
Yeah,
I
I
guess you
think
have
so
Luna.
too.
I guess you have Luna. Maybe it's not too bad. I don't know. Maybe it's better than I think, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like the purple Dovi matchup is unwinnable for the deck. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's okay what it is. But I don't have
Mhm.
that much experience with the deck, so I mean, I could be wrong. It could be a very good deck contender. So
Yeah. I've seen some people hype it up. I've seen some people like, what the fuck is this? Like,
yeah,
I think it like in a like really like if you're elite on the deck and have played it, like for example Rick Master has done, I think it would be in contender because you get some new cards and like you could probably figure out a way how to get a good matchup
yeah.
into like the good decks. I don't know. I think
I
this
think
one
it
is
had good
is
matchup into yellow though, so I don't think it gained anything by this. So, but maybe Nami was really maybe Nami was not good, and now Nami is okay. That's all. That's
mhm,
possible. Yeah.
might be
What about
like
the
that.
fish?
I think it's in
Yeah, me
locals, to
too.
be honest. Like I've seen some people that played a lot talk about like you play more for like a control version with Jinbe, you play Sengoku now and more like warlord stuff.
But then what do
But
you do
yeah, I don't
about
know.
Enel? I don't know. Nah. Like
Yeah, I think this deck has to like prove itself.
yeah,
It could get here, but no, I don't think so.
no, me neither. And you know, this next deck is the deck that I was finding very interesting. Like I thought that it was getting enough support to the point where like it's really really good. But I don't know, man. Like something is
Yeah.
missing. Like every time I see it, I feel like it just runs out of cards and that you just lose. Like I
Mm-hmm.
haven't seen the deck and I felt like impressed. Because like the new 6 cost cop is supposed to be broken, right? Because you can bring it back with Helmepo and then you can use the effect to protect it so it doesn't get killed,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And
But I don't know.
I think it's a case of that you have like you're good against certain decks because like you're really efficient at like swinging board, swinging on small things. But like against these bigger decks, you have a little bit more of uphill battle because then you need cards like Doll. I don't know if you played the what's it
Yeah.
called
Honest
the girl
impact.
that honest impact, yeah, and the 6 cost girl that put something to 0
Oh,
from the
7 cost.
movie.
Ein.
Oh, sign. Yeah,
Yeah,
Ein.
the
7 cost
seven
Ein.
seven 6k. 7 cost 6k that makes something 0.
Yeah, exactly, and
It's just
stuff like
that
that. Maybe.
all those cards go minus. That's the problem. Like Doll makes you pitch a card to minus something, and then you have to play a new
Hmm.
card. And like at some point, you just run out of cards, they clear your board, and now you're done. Right?
Yeah, and
So
also you're like a 4 life leader into an L, and all your blockers are small, so you just get Mamaraga and then into like killed by Holy and
yeah,
stuff like that. So I think
they
maybe can
could
go
top.
here.
Yeah, maybe at the bottom of there. I wish it was better, to be
Yeah.
honest. It's a very cool
Hmm.
concept. I like the concept of the deck.
Yeah. And I would say if they support this leader, it could be better. I said that back in the day when it got released, and now it got like kind of good support, and it's still not quite there. So maybe you would need like a crazy custom card, and then it would be really nice. But you could probably say that for most of these leaders,
Yeah.
actually,
Now,
with it.
you used to play this deck a lot, right?
Hmm.
And I would argue that it was probably the second BDIF before the ban list. Just because, I mean, I'm not saying the matchups were insane, but like the deck just was so resilient, man. It's
Hmm.
like whenever you play against this deck, you felt like things had to go okay for you to not lose. Right? Like
Hmm.
they would always trigger a random quasar at some point, the deck will snowball, and if they trigger a second one, you would just lose, right? So, but I think like now it's way more balanced. Probably still playable, probably still good. So I would not be surprised if it's still a contender, but I would
Hmm.
probably put it at the bottom of contender, like maybe in front of like Croc like that, yeah, maybe something like this.
Yeah.
But deck is still strong, right? Like,
Hmm. Yeah. My take on this leader is that I think that the addition of the Borsa Quasar package, of course, was really good because you could really shit out your opponent. But I think the reasons this deck was strong was not everything onto Borsa Quasar. I still think this deck is really good, and I would not be surprised if you still beat Enel. And as like when I've seen like how Asia has how the format has been, it's like it has been this triangle that like Lucy beats Nami, Nami beats Enel, Enel beats Lucy, and that's like how they have been playing it. And now with Nami getting like less powerful, maybe more people go to Enel, and then people will drop Lucy, and then Nami might get better because if you have a good matchup into Enel, that could make it so that you like I don't know. It depends how like the format
Yeah,
shifts,
I think it
but
can still be very strong. I want to say one thing for the viewers because we don't have a lot of viewers. I think most of our viewers are like European and American. It's like the Asia format is so different, guys. I think like sometimes I watch the tournaments and it feels like they just decide that rock paper scissors. They just agreed to play these 3 decks and then place like just play this format, right? We never had in the EU in our format in West. We never had these extreme formats that they had, right? Like with one deck being insanely more popular than the others. I feel like we're just trying to play different things more. Like the balance is way more spread between the decks. So I also the same way I don't expect Purple and L to be like a deck that's like how Boa was in Asia. You know what I mean? Like where on a 64 tournament there was 36 Boas. Like I don't think that's gonna happen for Enel either. So keep your eyes open and don't try to not fall too much about all these. All this deck is broken now. It has no bad matchups. It's gonna take time, okay? And just try different things, and you will see that a lot of these decks are good. Like the decks we put in contender, like maybe except Rosie, if Rosie ends up being not as good as I think it is, right? All of the other decks except Rosie, they are gonna be good. One way or another, they will be good. Enel will be good no matter what, right? But a lot of the decks in the can top might be better than what we think. So just keep an eye open and just try things, you know, and give it some time. If somebody told you today, like when the ban list happens, that the best deck in the format is that deck, it's because they don't know. Like they're just trying to farm views, right? Like because there is no way you know what the best deck is right now. The format is just it hasn't even started yet. We haven't played a single game of the format yet. So yeah. I don't know what you think.
Yeah. No, I agree on that point. Like the meta can be like everywhere, and like if you look at like pie charts from contendants in every format in EU except OP13, I would say it has been like EU and like America. Then it has been more scattered than just like 3 decks that are really played. So I agree with that, and I think we're gonna see like a different format than what we've seen, and also we have like because I think we are the first one who plays with the ban list. We're actually gonna be ahead like 2 weeks of Asia this time, because of this. But yeah, to round out this video, I want you and me to put the top 5 leaders that we think are the top 5 best. And do you want to start?
Oh, go ahead.
I can start. Okay. So I think that is gonna be Enel. I think it's gonna be Lucy. I think it's gonna be Moria. I think it's gonna be Ace, and I think I wanna put Nami in there too. That's the 5 best decks. That's my take.
I'm gonna be a little bit more spicy. I'm gonna say NL. I'm gonna say Ace. I'm gonna say GP Luffy.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say the best top 5 decks. I'm gonna say I said NL, Ace, GP Luffy. No. Ah, man. Put GP Luffy down. Put GP Luffy down. I'll say Calgara and Lucy. And I'm gonna do this for you, Mihawk.
Fuck you. Yeah. I mean, it's like it's opinion in the end. Like it could be like this. It could be like this.
Correct.
It could be like
the
this.
reason why we
it could
put
be
all
like...
of those decks in contender is because they could all be top. No. That could not.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, the order doesn't really matter here, right? It's fine.
Yeah. Exactly. Like this is at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Top 10, we could say,
yes,
at least.
Correct. yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed this tier list video. My tier list videos with Abbster are always a little bit back and forth, you know. He always puts Moria and BDIF. I always put GP as the best deck in the format. So it's like we are a little bit biased, right? And at the end of the day, we haven't played enough of this new actually, we haven't played this new format at all without Quasar, right? So all we know is how the decks interact with each other. The thing is, we don't know what list will change now that they don't have to plan for yellow, right? So we're just speculating here. Hopefully the format is a lot different than we think, because that would be cool. You know, if the format is like, if there's a lot of decks that we missed that are good, that's great. That means this change did very good things for the format. But the Quasar pair ban is great. I think I think it's going to be very good for the game long term. And let's just see how the meta evolves.
I agree. So with that said, guys, make sure to subscribe to Skeppas. I'm looking at you.
Yeah, and
click
to
off the
Abbster,
video,
of course.
subscribe.
And of course,
Thank
to
you.
Abbster, yes, because this is we're building up a special community together. You know? So make sure to support us. We will try to put more content out for you. And if you like me collaborating with Abbster more, let us know in the comments. And if we missed your deck, also let us know in the comments. If you think there is a deck that we missed that is going to be really, really good. So, yeah.
I know what it is.
Oh no.
Where do we have?
Purple Shanks, it rotated.
Purple Shanks, BDA. Oh, yes, fuck. Yeah, that gate kept the leader, yeah. Yep. But guys, thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.
Ciao.